I can't lie, I'm not surprised at this point, but apparently USBC is sticking to their guns and they're keeping those fines in place. For anybody that spoke up about what happened, um, yeah, they didn't win their appeals. Gigi Mason made a big post with all her receipts and everything that happened, what she said, and proved that okay, this shouldn't be finable. And yet they kept it, and they kept the fine on for her, and she lost the appeal. So we're gonna go through that, and we're gonna talk about all that stuff here in a minute. So stay tuned. Hey, y'all, before we get into the GG Mason issue with USBC, I kind of want to. Did you know there were other types of new skin other than the stuff we always use, like this stuff? I had no idea that the original brand of new skin is probably where this stuff was made off of. And I got to tell you, there's a big difference between this that we bowlers usually use and this that is actually new skin. And now they're actually promoting more towards bowlers because I don't think most people realize this is the much better solution. So I have the bottle here, which again, look at the size comparison alone, a lot more in this compared to this. The difference between these two products is it's kind of astounding actually. How many times you put this on and then it just peels away, comes right off. You got to keep reapplying it. You got to try to use it to get it to stick. So a lot of people actually then resort to just using something like a super glue instead. No, you don't need that with this. This stuff's super flexible. It's not going to affect your grip. It's going to stay on there nice for you. So I'm going to put some on. I'll put some on my hand right here. I'm going to put the regular stuff, this old stuff over here so you can see how this does. Right there. You put that right there, okay? And then we will put the regular new skin, the real new skin, on my thumb. And this stuff is thick. Like this stuff goes on thick. It's completely different. It's an actual bandage. With this stuff, you don't need those patches. With the thin stuff, you need the patches to make it thicken up to be able to cover the skin properly. The real new skin, no patches needed. This stuff actually just goes right on thick. So you can see the difference if I show you. This is the regular new skin there. We'll let that dry for a minute. And you see the thickness of this new skin on my thumb. I'm gonna give it a few minutes, we'll let it dry, and then we'll show you the difference between the two. And while this dries, actually, did you know that the original new skin, the actual new skin, it kills germs? So not only are you protecting that spot from the hurt and being able to still use your hand and keep bowling, but you're killing the germs that would be infecting the area as well. So keep that in mind. Let it dry. All right, so if we take a look, the old new skin up here, you can see it's already cracking, it's already dry, it's flaking away, and it'll peel off real easy. But when you look at this stuff, it bonds to your skin in such a thick manner, and it's not sticky at all, that it's just like this with a patch, but without a patch. And this does not peel very easily. It'll actually rub off eventually, of course, but it's not nearly like what this old school stuff is. This is the way to go. So make sure to hit that link in the description. There's going to be a link down there. I think you can get it over at Amazon, but just click that link in the description and you'll be able to get yours. It's pretty cheap. It's not that bad. So head over there, get some of this, use this, stop stumbling around with those patches and everything. Just use this. It takes a bit longer to dry than this, but it's thicker and it actually protects even better. So make sure to get yours. Let's go talk about Mason. All right. So, yeah, honestly, I was kind of surprised. I didn't have any idea that there was a different type of new skin. But anyway, so that's kind of cool. Um, but yeah, let's take a look. I'm going to share you my screen so that way you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about here with Gigi and her story there. Let me pull this up so you guys can see it. Sorry, I'm a little slow. But here we go. So this was her appeal. And you guys can take the time to read that. I'm not going to read the entire thing for you. But basically, she breaks it all down and says, look, I didn't break any of these rules. This is ridiculous. Why am I getting an appeal, or why am I getting a fine for this? And she breaks it all down and then writes everything down here. For context, she tells you exactly what happened during the entire thing. And then what they basically said was, your appeal is not granted. You don't win your appeal because you use the words mofo, which she goes on to tell, like, look, watch, I actually post this all the time. And every post she says mofo. So she goes and she shows you all these images that right there. She circles it, mofo, May 11th. And this all happens before her event. Before that event, she did it. So she's basically proving that, I say this all the time and it's not directed at anybody, in particular, and it's not meant in a derogatory way. It's just something that happens. These mofos, next tournament starts Friday. See, right there, May 6th. Again, here, January 28th. There's many times that she actually goes through and she uses those types of things or that exact word. So let's go to her page itself so you can see what she said about it. Because she actually made a post that talked about it. Yeah, right here. So you can read this post. If you're not a fan of Gigi, you definitely need to go and click on her link on her page and follow her. But she makes this whole thing. She said, I received an email saying my appeal was denied. Part of the email stated, based on the information provided, we agree the statement you posted violated USBC Queens Rule 29, items C1, C2, and C3. We also find the fine issued is appropriate based on USBC Queens Rule 30. As such, it is the decision of the rule board. The tournament management acted within its authority and therefore be denying your appeal because this is an appeal of the field of play decision as defined in USBC bylaws. Disciplinary supplement, the decision of the rules department is final and non-reviewable. So she can't even appeal this. Like, she's stuck with that fine. If she wants to continue bowling, she either pays it or she doesn't get to bowl. And I think that's kind of ridiculous. After reading the email, I then called USBC office and told them about the incident in Grand Rapids. We had to use spare balls again and asked why my appeal wasn't accepted. I was told I still broke rules C1 through C3. And if you go through that, her original appeal, you'll see the rules broke down for it and it'll tell you what they are. I use the term mofos, that I called the people who maintenance the lane, staff, etc. mofos. Cat. Anybody that doesn't know what cat means, that's BS. That's a lie. Anyone who's been following me for some time now knows that's a term that's used in my vocabulary like all the time. This ain't nothing new. Below are some examples. If you click, so you guys can go and read all this. But there is this is kind of outrageous. If you ask me, I think that's kind of crazy that these appeals aren't being taken back after everything that happened. Like, how are you going to? You guys screwed up, and you're going to fine them for talking about what happened. And the funny thing is like she didn't do anything to come out and say, yeah, this is a joke. I can't believe they screwed this up. No, she literally talked about it as if it was any other tournament she bowled. I hit this pair that was messed up and I couldn't figure it out type of thing. And I bowled 170. And that's basically what she said. Paraphrasing, of course. But I don't, she didn't do like in all her other previous, but because there was an issue on this event, this tournament, there was an issue. Because there was an issue there, she's being fined for saying the exact same thing that she said in every other post that she's made prior. It just doesn't make sense. But because they know they did wrong, they assume that her calling or her saying mofos meant she was calling them mofos for screwing up the lanes. Well, I'm saying it. Y'all are mofos for screwing up the lanes. Like, it just, or at least, no, I shouldn't say for screwing up the lanes because accidents do happen. Things happen. But in this case, like, there was no reason for that fine to be there. Like, that just doesn't make sense. But for USBC to come through and still stick with these fines for these people that actually said something, and she didn't even, that's the thing, is she didn't even speak out against them. She was just explaining what happened, and she still got fined for it. Like, I think this is a mistake. I think that's going to cause some problems. I think if I was her, I would be really, really upset about this entire situation. If I'm any of the ladies, I'm really upset about what happened. Now, of course, again, remember, they did come through and finally say, yeah, we had a problem. We've got it fixed. Hopefully we'll never see this again in the future. But it took Kegel coming out to admit there was a problem for USBC to say, oh, yeah, I guess there was a problem. Blame Kegel. That's their fault. That type of thing. Because heaven forbid, USBC actually gets held accountable. But What do I know? Whatever. It is what it is. I got to get off here before I start saying some crazy stuff. Hey, if you guys haven't ordered, make sure click that link in the description for the new skin. Also, I got links in the description for the new books. You can get them over at bowlerx.com. Learn about the release, learn about the mental game, learn about the approach. I got more coming soon. So definitely a lot more books that are going to break down the game. We're going to keep them short and simple, so that way you guys can, you don't have one big massive book that explains everything out. I think that's kind of ridiculous. Just being able to pick and choose the books that you want based on certain things you want to work on. Perfect. So I'm going to do that. Make sure you guys click those links. I'm going to get out of here. And until next time, see you guys later.